Introducing LCO producer strings. Bold, modern orchestration created in collaboration with the award-winning London Contemporary Orchestra and recorded at RAK Studios. Designed for producers and composers alike, these versatile performances swell and evolve in combination with hybrid synth layers, enhancing the sound of this distinctive ensemble. With a focus on unique orchestrations, LCO Producer Strings offers a distinctive collection of articulations, from cluster blooms and harmonic trills to percussive pizzicatos. Designed to blend with your productions straight out of the box, these cinematic techniques complement electronic music, pop, hip-hop, and experimental sound design. Take inspiration from the string sections used by the modern productions of Frank Ocean and Radiohead for authentically expressive string parts. With integrated modulation, auto arranger, and an extensive effect suite, stack violins, violas, cellos, and synths into vivid, kaleidoscopic textures.
Hi and welcome back to the channel. So that was the intro to the LCO Producer Strings walkthrough by one of my favourite reviewers, and that is Ruben. So LCO Producer Strings is quite new out on Native Instruments, and it is a bit different, I have to say. So it's only £89, which is relatively cheap for anything orchestral these days. So what the hell is it all about? It is modern strings for artists and producers. So the versatile sound of the London Contemporary Orchestra, recorded in stunning detail at RAK Studios, craft luminous soundscapes with a hybrid 4-layer string and synth engine. So, right up my street. Choose from beautifully built layers drawn from both classic and experimental performance techniques. Strings you've always dreamed of. LCO Producer Strings puts you in the conductor's seat and dares you to break the rules. It's a modern string library with a twist, where the finest musicians, bold orchestrations and expert sound design come together. Built with pop, alternative, hip-hop and experimental productions in mind, this isn't about emulation, it's about expression. So it has a very unusual UI, as you can see. There's these 4 colours. So depending on what you've got loaded in, it has a different colour. So as you can see, violins were red, violas kind of jadey green, cellos are purple, and synths are yellow. And if you adjust the volume, you'll get more density or contrast of the color. So yeah, it's quite clever. And you can obviously filter by instrument, character and preset, and you can see the different colors that have made up the preset. So it's very clever. Sculpture layers with high-end creative and studio effects, including compression, delay, reverb, modulation and more. So there's a whole range of Native Instruments effects. So you can see we've got bite, room, compressor, and then space. So that is your reverb. So you've got your 4 layers there, your sound levels and your pre-delay and amount and size. I do like it, it's different. So you've got 3 pages here with various different controls. It normally defaults to page 1, which is the volume, tune and space. So that is page 3. And they haven't showed you page 2. So 4 layers, infinite textures. LCO Producer Strings is powered by a flexible 4-layer engine that lets you stack violins, violas, cellos and synths into vivid textures. Layers can be filtered by instrument type and performance technique. Each layer is easy to shape with dedicated controls for volume, tuning and space. It jumps straight into presets for instant arrangements. So the London Contemporary Orchestra is a collective of boundary-breaking musicians redefining what an orchestra can be. Celebrated for their fearless and innovative approach, LCO has scored award-winning films Deadpool and Wolverine, what the hell, and video games Call of Duty, and collaborated with visionary artists from Radiohead, Frank Ocean and The Weeknd to Taylor Swift, Justice and Foles. So blurring lines between classical, electronic and experimental in performances. Creative performance techniques from cluster blooms and harmonic flickers to percussive pizzicatos, which is really difficult for me to say. Layers feature both classic and creative performance techniques. Each was designed to be playable, cinematic and instantly usable across genres. Hybrid sound design. Explore the beauty of the raw sounds or blend them with synthetic sources for colourful textures. Organic bowed sections with evolving synth beds and granular textures for hybrid timbres. Built-in effects and a modulation routing let you push signals through lush simmer, gritty saturation or otherworldly spectral movement while keeping everything musical and mix ready. So it definitely is a bit different from your usual orchestral plugin. So it's even better with control keyboards, which is what I have. I have the S61 Mark III. So it is fully optimized for Contact 8 and NKS. You need the free Contact Player version 8.6 and higher, or Contact 8.6. So it will work with the player. You get 210 presets. It is 8.2 gigabyte download, and there is actually a manual as well. So let's go back up and just have a quick blast to some of the audio demos. There's only 4. Andromeda's Collides. Sounds like one of mine. It's got a lot of presets in it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 presets. Okay then, right, so that was a bit wacky. So that is the kind of intro to LCO Producer Strings. Let's get Contact 8 open and actually see how it works and how it sounds. Right, so here we are in Contact 8 and I have got LCO Producer Strings open. So this is the first preset called Abyss, and like I said, you can see there is 211 presets. There doesn't seem to be an init. Quite good to have had an init as well, but there isn't one. So we'll just give you a quick demo of this before I start the overview. And you will be using the mod wheel quite a lot. It does add the expression. There's no settings page anywhere, so you can't seem to go in and adjust things like the aftertouch or parameters, so that's a bit weird. And if you click on here, you just get a list of everybody involved, so there's quite a lot of people involved, and then you can click in here and go and change your presets or your instruments, and this is a randomizer, but it only randomizes the preset, so it's not randomizing anything down here, which is a bit of a shame. So all it does is just pick a random preset out of the 211, so you can't kind of randomize any of this at all. And the scroll wheel does not move this, so you've still got to click in this tiny little bit there and scroll down. I mean, like, come on, Native Instruments. I'm moving the scroll wheel with my mouse and nothing. There's the 4 layers, and then you've got layers, effects, and space. So each of these is pretty much the same, and it kind of tends to default to screen, which is the first screen on the left, which has the volume, the tune, and the space. So the space is your reverb, and you can add in different shapes for the tuning, and also the volume. You can switch from sine to square and rectangle and saw. So, and then you've got a rate and an amount. So these are obviously all the same. If I go back to this one, you can see they're all the same. And then the middle one is the pan. And so reel, an option that you've got for the keyboard. So if you got reel, it'll be just the part of the keyboard that would be natural to this particular preset or instrument. And then full takes it across the whole keyboard. So some of the presets will be in reel mode, but you can see that's reel. So if I switch this off, that off and this off, you can see that is the real range of a violin, and then you can switch that to full. The other thing is that there's no solo and mute. It's a real pain when you're a sound designer. So if I want to listen to the violin, I have to switch off 3 layers. Well, why not just have a S and a M somewhere, so I can either mute it or solo it? So, I mean, it's such an obvious thing to have, and I can't find it anywhere. So like I said, you can click in them and you could just change that to that one, and you can see they're both in the same colour. You can see how that sounds. And then the last button is the warmth, which is the kind of saturation, and then you've got attack and release. So if I solo this, which I can, I've got to switch these off. So, and you can see what happens with the UI. If you move the volume, you get increased colour or more brightness, whichever you want to put it. So, like I said, that is your reverb, and then that's your pan, and then we can switch this to reel. So it's only going to play from there to there. So that is, what have we getting anyway? So this is cello and bass spectral scrub. So I'm not quite sure, that's obviously the range of a cello. Then the last one is, like I said, the saturation. So we could take the saturation up, a bit more attack and a bit more release. And then just have the 2 layers. So we could have them both on reel. And then you can bring them in with the mod wheel and pitch bend them. So that is literally how it works. Like I said, it's pretty damn simple. I've got the different colours for the instruments. So if we click in, the yellow ones are the synths, and there's quite a few. As you can see, there's a fair amount. So if we go to synth here, you can see that is all your synths, and then we've also got a granulator as well, which is the kind of light bluey colour. So yeah. So you've got violin, viola, cellos and bass, ensemble and synth. And then you've got the technique. So you've got legato, long, short, run, curated, plucked and pad. So we could go to synth pad and just bang in one of these and just see what this sounds like. So we'll switch these all off because I can't solo it. Tune it back up and add some more space. Bring the attack down a bit. Right. So there we go. I do like the design, I have to say. It's a bit different because we are getting a lot of 4-layer instruments these days. It's a bit of a shame that this is not a complete randomizer. I'm not really quite sure, maybe they couldn't do it because of all the different layers, but I mean, it is possible. I mean, Ergo's instruments, you can completely randomize everything. You just pick what you want to randomize, to name but one. I mean, there's plenty of other ones that have got randomizing features, and you just tick which things you want to include. So put in a new preset. We'll put in antenna, which is one that I've favorited. So this has got synths, ensemble, and grains, and it's very bright yellow. So we can have a look at the effects. You can see you've got the list there. So we've got none, bite, compressor, dirt, delay, freak, room, and wow, flutter. So yeah, maybe would have preferred some other ones, but there's no phaser or flanger or things like that. So you can change the order by clicking and dragging in the 4 squares. So we add in another effect. Let's add in freak. And there's no presets for these, unlike Dystopian Diary from Ocean Swift. You got all the presets. It was blinking genius. As you can see, you can change the frequency type and mix. So see what this does. And then go back to layers and maybe bump up the volume a bit, because it's very quiet. There's a lot of them that are quite quiet. So let's go back to effects. And so we could add a bit more compression and more size with a, let's put them all at kind of 50, and then we could add in a bit of delay at the end. And then we've got space, so you've got your reverb, so we can have we can put a bit more amount on, and size. And then you've got these, they're not that many. You've got cathedrals, halls, exhibitions, club, taverns. So we could just leave it at Cathedral A. And then we've got your send levels here. So we could put them all kind of about 50. And then let's see what it sounds like with the full ensemble. So yeah, pretty much the gist of it. And like I said, it is very, very simple to do. So the one thing that I didn't know and had to download the manual to find out, to help understand how this works, is Auto Arranger. So what the hell is Auto Arranger? Well, this is a screenshot from the PDF, so you can see it just goes through the main kind of thing. So Auto Arranger, it distributes simultaneously played notes across the 4 layers. So each layer handles different notes instead of all layers playing every note. And if you understand that, you're doing well. This creates a more balanced and varied sound compared to all layers doubling the same chord. Right, okay, so that's off. Right, so I'll play a chord. Right, we'll switch Auto Arranger on, play the same chord. Maybe not the best preset. Let's try Amethyst Strings. See if we can actually hear a bit more different. Right, so we'll switch it off. Right. Well, I mean, you can hear a difference. I'm not sure it's really making it any better. Let's have it. Well, that's a lot richer. And the other thing I wanted to mention was, if we go into presets, this, where the articulations in the layer presets, below are some definitions of the specifically named articulations used in the layer preset. So, bow chants are soft but audible irregular bow changes, like slow hushed chatter. Buzzy Stabs, a combination of snap pizzicato, also known as Bartok pizzicato, and bowed sul ponticello. Exponential blooms is a late exaggerated swell in dynamic while moving the bow towards the bridge. Right, okay. Harmonic flickers, switching intermittently between the fundamental note and harmonic an octave above. Percussive bits is plucking the string with a small thin piece of plastic, e.g. a plectrum or credit card. Spectral scrubs, moving the bow in a circular motion between the bridge and fingerboard. Stings, an accented note followed by a quick fall in pitch like a disco slide. Woozy vib, slowly rocking the stopped finger of the left hand to create subtle microtonal bends. But I thought I'd just let you know, because I was wondering what a few of these actually were. A lot of these have got scrubs, flicker, and then you've got sustains, tremolo. So these are the kind of obvious ones, but you've got harmonic flickers, harmonic shorts, percussive picazzo, buzzy stabs, bow chants. I'm going to do a sound demo separately because this has gone on quite long. So I'm going to do a separate video with the actual sound demo, because as you can see, I have favorited quite a lot of presets. So that's going to be like 20 minutes plus on its own. So I'm not going to do that today. I just wanted to give you an overview of how it works and why I like it. So as I mentioned earlier, this is available for £89, which is pretty cheap for anything orchestral. So that is €101 or 117 US dollars. So a lot of this orchestral stuff you're talking about, you know, 180, 200. So it is a bit different because you've got things like synths and granulators alongside cellos and violas. So yeah, it's pretty cool. They have nicked quite a few of my preset names, I have to say. For instance, they've got an Into the Void, which I have done, Event Horizon, and yeah, there's quite a few Asteroid. Yeah, they've obviously been looking at my presets again. That is it for today, and as usual, if you have enjoyed this video, please remember to like, subscribe, share and comment, and I will see you in the sound demo.